Hey guys. Oh, Jano Zero. How you doing? I hope all is well in YouTube land. Whatever part of the world that you are in. I'm going to do a morning coffee chat here. Decided to switch porches. We'll do this one on the front porch, a little bit of change of scenery. Excuse me. We got some weather moving in the next couple of days throughout the Ohio Valley region here, so y'all stay safe and be careful. Holy crap. Man, that's good coffee. Okay, on my little goofy spring dance video, somebody asked if when I referred to the Creek Elders, if I was referring to, I guess, the Creek Indian Nation. No. I never specifically talk about race of any kind because for me it's a non-issue. For me, race and colors and all that kind of stuff doesn't even exist. We're all one race. We're the human race. And when I talk about Creek Elders, I'm talking about the elders that live out here on the creek where I live. There's a creek that runs alongside the road here that we have, and it's called Rankins Creek. And in my particular area, in northern Appalachia of southern Ohio in the hills, we have creek folk, and we have ridge folk, and we have town folk. It's just on where you live. You know, my house I live on the ridge. You know, I live on, McKinney Creek Ridge, or I live on Rankins Creek Road, or I live, in Possum Holler, or something like that. And that's just how we identify with each other, creek folk. And there are families, like Uncle Bill, who's one of our creek elders. His family has been out here living on this creek road, not just in this area, but specifically on this creek road, since, the 1800s. And there are other families who have been on this creek road, since the mid-1800s. And they are what we refer to as our creek elders. They are the ones that we go to if we're having trouble with, whatever. Gardening or any kind of animal husbandry. What do we do? Do you have any advice just on how this is how we pass knowledge along from one generation to the other, is by talking with our elders. And so that's what I refer to when I refer to the Creek Elders. I'm referring to the elder folks that live up and down the creek that the younger generations and the even younger generation can go to and kind of pick their brain for the knowledge that they have, because they've got a lifetime of knowledge of specifically living here on this creek, and that's very, very helpful for me anyway. It is. So that's what I refer to when I refer to the creek folk and the creek elders. I'm not referring to any kind of a Native American tribes or that kind of stuff. Like I say, to me, I don't even, and I know there's a lot of it out there, and it really upsets me because people put so much focus on race, black dude, white dude, Asian dude. You know what? The key word in those phrases is dudes. We're all just dudes and dudettes, man. We're not, nobody's any better than anybody else. This is just me, my opinion. I mean, there's going to be people who don't like this, but, it just is what it is. We're the human race. That's the only race that's important. And that's why I never, distinguish anything like that, because for me, it's just a non-issue. To me, race is something that the powers that be create to try to keep us all divided in our own little separate communities, rather than being one big community of people. They would rather have us divided into smaller communities of quote-unquote races. Loud car. So, to me, race is something that politicians and quote-unquote religious, certain religious leaders use to try to keep everybody separated. And to me, that's a bunch of crap. We're all just dudes. We are United States, not divided states. But anyway, enough about that. So, it is now time, sometime this week, probably this coming weekend, this will be the first weekend of March, we are going to start our seeds. I've had a couple people ask me, is there a time schedule that you stick to when you're homesteading on when to do certain things? Not really. Early March is when I start my seeds. That way, in a month or so, in mid-April, towards the end of April, we'll hopefully be done with the colder frost weathers, and we can put our smaller plants there. There'll be a good established, 6-week-old plant or so to move it out into the garden. and go ahead and let it start growing out there whenever there's no more frost available. And it just all depends on, you know, what area of the country you live in, and when you feel you're going to have your last frost, and it's safe to put plants in the ground. Then about a month or 6 weeks before that particular time is when you can start the plants. Sorry, there's some traffic on the creek this morning, but I think it must be folks heading into town because we got weather moving in, not today but tomorrow. So, but anyway, about a month to 6 weeks before you feel you're going to have your last frost is when I would start my seeds. That way you'd have a good established little plant and strong, healthy plants to move into your garden to continue growing. Same thing with with the animals. You know, we wanted bunnies for Easter time, so we are going to we've got to have a 7 or an 8 week old bunny before Easter. So then we know it takes 31 days for the rabbits to kindle after you breed them. So you just kind of do the math, and then you say, okay, well, I need 3 months before Easter. I need to breed the rabbits. And the same thing, with our hogs, when we start breeding pork chop out there. For me and for my area, in my opinion, the ideal butcher time is late October, early November, because it's cool outside. You can hang. You don't got to be in a rush. You don't have to worry about in the summertime your meat spoiling or insects, all over your meat and stuff like that as you're trying to process it. So, I will do the math and say, well, if I want the pigs that we're going to butcher to be a certain age at the beginning of November, then I need to breed at this point. And so that's just, that's how I do things anyway. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a homesteadiologist or any of that kind of stuff. That's just, how I like to do things. So, excuse me. Still trying to get over a little bit of this crud. I apologize for the snorting and the coughing. It is what it is. So anyway, I wanted just to kind of address those two things real quick, because we're getting to that time of year to where it's time to start thinking about your garden, planning out your garden before you plant it. You need to plan it. I look at my garden as I would any produce section of a grocery store. What do we buy? What do we use for produce? And instead of buying it, I try to grow it. I know there's a lot of folks who say, this stuff grows really fast and it's great and it grows a lot, but if I don't like it, then I'm not going to grow it because I don't like it. There's no sense of growing stuff in the garden that you're not going to use. We will grow some extra stuff for the hogs and the animal feed this year. I think I've got another spot that we've got cleared out that I can get in there and put a few rows of stuff that will be specifically animal feed. And we'll get the greens off of it, like turnips and beets and stuff like that. We'll eat the greens, and then we'll give the tubers to the animals for feed, unless we're going to use them for a meal. Damn, hell, there's a lot of traffic this morning. So, okay, kind of lost where I was. I kind of forgot what I was talking about. Need to drink some more coffee and get on with my morning routine here. But I wanted to address those couple of questions, because we are getting to that time to where we need to think about spring stuff. And what's going to be happening here over the course of the next few weeks, getting ready to plant the garden, making anything that happened over the winter time to the chicken houses with all the snow and the ice and stuff. When you start making repairs, we need to really start walking the perimeter of the fences, looking for holes, looking for tree limbs that have come down and smash it down a little bit. Those are the kind of things that I'll be doing over the course of the next week or so, getting ready for spring, because we do have baby chicks and so on right now, and it won't be long. We'll be moving them from the rooter box out into the grow out pen, and well, I guess I'll just do an update video when I do that. So actually, you know what? Sometime here in the next couple of days, once we get past this weather and stuff, I'll do an update video on all the animals. Somebody asked them to see the pheasants, so there goes a pheasant right there. I don't know if y'all heard him or not. So I'll grab the camera here sometime next couple of days and kind of walk around and show you the biddies and how the chickies are doing, and show you pork chop. She's growing. Pork chop has decided that a belly rub is a good thing. So yeah, we're moving along out here. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Spring is coming. We all know for sure because we did our dances, right? All right, y'all. Thank you very much. Each and every one of you guys are important and matter, and I really appreciate you guys. You guys have a great day. Stay warm. God bless. The end. Buzz, buzz. The end.